Hi everyone, I'm going to plant the early spuds. It's a bit later than normal, it's usually mid-February I usually do it. So I thought, well, I'll get them in today. It's the 8th of March today, so to do these, I'm going to sow most of my other seeds as well, so I'll crack on with these spuds, which are variety Swift. So 30 litre tubs, multi-purpose compost, just Wickes' own, that's all I've got hold of at the moment. Bloodfish and bone meal is all I'm going to use food wise, just a little sort of handful in each pot, about 3 ounces I suppose, something like that. So we'll get started. I'm going to put four in each tub. So let's get some fertiliser in. They're about 1/3 full at the moment with compost. A bit more in that one. Right, just get that quick mix around. Nothing too wonderful. I'm going to plant these on opposites. So I'm going to plant on my first runs that way and the second layer that way. So first two, push them down so they're, you know, inch so from the bottom. I'm not going to bother knocking any of the chits off, because I'm only after small potatoes anyway. And these are just going to go in the polytunnel until they get in my way. There's loads of videos on chitting potatoes, so as long as the chits, these little things that sprout, they want to be nice and dark, not white and pale, because they'll snap off easy. So it's basically getting them in the daylight really, and a few weeks they should start sprouting. Right, so that's the first layer done. I'm going to put some compost in, a few inches on top of that. Take it up to about the halfway mark. A little bit more bloodfish and bone, not too much more. I usually buy this stuff in a sack, but I didn't have a chance. I just found this old box in the shed, so it will do. I've got to be careful that I'm not knocking the other spuds about down below. A bit of a mix. You can use grow more if you want to. You know, they're all a slow release fertiliser. Right, same again. This time went that way. Two nestled down in there. And then cover them so they got 2 or 3 inches over the top of them. And then basically give them a bit of a water, and then wait for them to start growing. And as the tops grow, just start filling in with more compost around them until they get, you know, just a couple of inches below the top, because this will all sink down a bit when it's watered anyway. Yeah, just keep adding the compost until it's nearly full, and just keep watering, and hopefully in about 10 weeks it should be ready. So that's the early spuds, first earlies in tubs anyway. I've got some to plant in the allotment, which will be in next month, so that's swift, they're done. Okay, we're going to sow some seeds now. If you've not got a polytunnel or anything, just hold back if you're sowing direct, it's still a bit cold outside. But even if you have got a polytunnel, it's a risk you take with sowing stuff a bit early, because you never know when the weather can catch you off guard. It's caught me off guard a few times, so you just have to be a bit on the ball and keep your eye on the weather. Otherwise, there's still plenty of time for a lot of things, but I've not sown any pepper seeds, so I'm going to go and buy a pepper plant if I choose to do them this year. You can still sow them, but I prefer to sow them sort of January, early February, but I never got around to it, so I'll buy a pepper plant or a chilli plant. So what am I sowing? Well, tomatoes, there's quite a few of the alliums like leeks, spring onions, normal onions, which is usually sold them a bit earlier really. Some beetroot, all the brassicas, some lettuce. And I think that's about it for today. You know, and also this month you can sow things like peas. Start sowing them. Probably another week or two. I'd go with them, unless you're doing them undercover for a bit, which is okay. But like I say, you know, it might be a bit cold, they might rot off, so it's worth hanging fires for a couple of weeks. So I'll bring the camera a bit closer in, and then we'll get started. Right, first thing I'm going to sow is tomatoes. Most of my seedlings I prick out, apart from things like spring onions, and sometimes onions I'll prick out. But tomatoes I like to sow more than I need in case they don't germinate, and I can prick them out and pot them on. Same with brassicas. So I'll find my little dibber, and you can use a dibber if you want, or a pencil or anything like that. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to depress like a little drill in this. And these have all been pre-dampened down. I'm going to save a bit of time, so I've pre-loaded all my trays. Just that seed compost, that grow sure with a bit of a vermiculite, that's it. The tomato seeds don't be very deep. So, you know, 5-6 mil, something like that, is plenty enough. And they will want a little bit of warmth. So sometimes your windowsills can be a bit chilly. But don't think because they don't show within a few days that there's anything wrong and they need watering, because you might rot them off. So I think there's 6 varieties I'm growing this year. So just make a. It's easy when it's, you know, dry to put a little drill in it, but like I say, I've pre-watered all this. It doesn't have to be too brilliant really. So I've left enough room for 5 in this tray. I could have put 6, I mean I've grown as many as 8 in one tray, but I've got some small little trays. That's them all done. So I'm actually going to put my labels in now so I know what they are, because I've actually been all organised for a change and I've got my labels. So my San Marzano I'm going to put in a separate pot, because they're like an Italian large plum tomato. So I'll start off with this end. I'm going to have Sun Gold, Moneymaker, Isle of Craig, Gardener's Delight and Alicante. So we'll start off with Alicante, which are the same seeds from the pack I used last year. So I'm just hoping that I've got enough left. Yeah. Pushing up to shake them all around. Now they are fairly small, but they're just going to get sort of just sown every sort of ½ inch. Big clump of them fell out there. Try and thin them out in a second. Just move them along a bit. It's just a case of just lightly push each seed. If you've got any that are on top of one another, you know, you can try and spread them, you know, so they're not thatching. And make sure if you've used a dibber to wipe it, otherwise you'll be transferring another seed possibly across the next batch. I'll try and reseal this pack now. I've ripped it down the side somehow. Just fold the ends. So I mean, some of these seed suppliers, the foil packets, you know, which are pretty good. You know, tomato seeds, I don't always go by the date on the packet because they can do a lot more than that. And we have now some gold. Now these are in F1, so I'll be surprised if there's many seeds in this. I feel something in this bit I've just ripped off, so there's probably a seed tucked out in the corner. Yep, there's 2 in there, 4. But trust me, with F1 seeds you don't want to be wasting them. So some gold's this first one. Some golds are a cherry, and they're a lot of people's favourite as well, to be honest. I mean, I grew for the first time I think last year, and I had loads of them, and everyone, you know, said they were like sweets. So I'd say they're one of my favourites now. I'd probably say the actual favourite is Gardener's Delight, because it's just such a good cropper. You know, and Alicante I've always grown. I don't think I've ever missed a year where I've not grown Alicante. I'm not counting how many seeds I'm putting in, I'm just filling the row up. So, I mean, I have grown stuff from my own seeds. Obviously it's F1, don't be saving your own seed because you don't know what you're going to get. So we've got next here, San Marzano, that's going to go all on its top. Gardener's Delight. Now, I did have a bit of a problem last year with some seeds from supplier not germinating. Like, I know these, the Brum, were a nightmare to get germinated last year. You can only try. Usually I'd kind of say, you know, give it 2-3 weeks. If nothing's come up, I tend to investigate. Well, I investigate a bit early because I'm a bit impatient sometimes. I just start having a little scuff about, see if they've actually sprouted. But tomatoes are usually pretty, you know, pretty reliable, to be honest. I'm not doing the subarctic plenty this year, the outdoor ones. I'll give them a break this year. But I mean, them seeds I had for subarctic plenty, I've had for donkey's years. I'm not even bothered taking any more of my own. I've just had that many. And you think they'll have gone out of date, but no, they've been fine. Got to move that label, otherwise I'll be thinking moneymaker is Gardener's Delight, and it's not. That would have been a bit of a boo-boo. Next up, Isle of Craig. It says here, oh, they're in date, alright. Must be seeds this year, you know, to probably say, you know, I tend to use DT Browns, you know, Johnson's, Fothergills, Marshalls. They're all You all have, you know, good and bad. Right, so a couple of these in there. So it doesn't matter if you put too many in, because you can always sort of snip them off, you know, if you've got too many. Some gold are quite small seeds, so they drop in quite easy, but like with the bigger ones you need to just make sure they've got a good contact. But don't press them too hard that you know, damage the seed. It's just a light touch. And the last one's for this tray. A money maker. Another one. It's nothing fancy. You know, it's another reliable. It's about as what I've always said, like nearest to your shop bought one, size wise. I did Shirley's last year. I've done Shirley's once before, but yeah, they were okay. Nothing spectacular. Problem I tend to find with them is they can have, it's like they're not designed to carry as much fruit as they produce sometimes. The trusses snap on them, so you end up having to tie them up, which is alright if you're sort of on the ball with them, but I'd like to leave as many things as I can to kind of fend for itself a bit. You know, if you treat your plants too soft, you'll end up with soft, weak plants. And they're a lot hardier than what you think. Now I'm trying to find my packet there they are. So that's tomatoes sown in there. So I'm just going to just flatten these back over. That's so. I mean, you could like fill the little drill in with some vermiculite or something. You know, which, you know, a lot of people favour. You know, using vermiculite to cover the seeds with. There's no harm in that. And then, of course, a bit of water. Water's been stood in this room for 24 hours, so it's plenty room temperature, as is the compost. Propagate a little vent on top. You don't have to have it, you know, you can put a bag over it or, you know, if there's anything. So I'll move them out of the way. Next up we'll do the brassicas, I think. But these little, you know, I can get 5 to a tray really. You know, they are handy, to be honest. I mean, I bought them a few years ago, and that's when I suppose I started pricking most of my things out rather than thinning it out to a degree. Right, leave me some Marzano tomatoes over there. I'll do them later on. These out of the way. Right, what have we got here? Brassicas. Right, so that's going to be the quails, that's the broccoli. Got some golden acre, which is Primo 2, cauliflower, Clapton, and cabbage, Advantage, F1, S1. I've not grown them before, they're like a green. And I'm going to grow some I usually sort of grow for the tortoise, and that's the Durham Early, which is a spring green. but I just call them, they're just greens. I just don't let them heart up. So I'll start off with the Durham Earlies. Now I've used my dibber, I'm just going to poke some holes. Now these can be a little bit deeper. But I'm only pricking these really for the seed to nestle into. So I will be filling this for compost. So I've got quite a few seeds in there, or little holes should I say. Whether they'll land in them all, I don't know. So here goes. I'm actually putting 2 per hole, because then I can quite easily snip off one out of each. At least doing this, when you pot them on or prick them out into seed trays, you know, into modules, you've got a full module tray rather than having empty spaces, which absolutely bugs me. I hate that. You know, sometimes you can't really go and pop a seed in there. That's the Durham Early done. I'll put my label in that before I forget. I'll just pop that over there for the moment. And we're on this Cabbage Advantage. Same again with that. It's sort of like a 1.25 inch apart across here, and then I do a bit like the 5 of a dice sort of thing. Maximise the room, I suppose. I don't let them get too big in here at that spacing, because they can cause a few problems. Right, so let's find my seeds for these. There we go. Cabbage Advantage. You know, these will be getting planted out hopefully in about 5-6 weeks. And then probably 2-3 weeks after that, I'll sow another batch, which should be timed about right for when I crop everything. Then I've got something to pop in its place, try and get a second crop, and if I'm lucky and the weather lets me, get a third crop. As some of you know, my plot is quite wet, so if I want to do anything later in the year, I need to be a bit earlier. So I don't think I'm going to get the late cropping stuff in this year. I've not really planned out what's going where as such. I'm kind of just doing this off sort of routine, I suppose. Right, so that's the Cabbage Advantage done for now. Not finished them off yet. Just go out top down to make sure the seeds are down the bottom. So next up we've got Aquils, which is a calabrese or broccoli. I've grown it for quite a few years. It's probably my favourite one to grow. It's a nice kind of short, compact plant, because some broccoli plants can be massive. So it's a pretty compact plant. Same again, get my little dibber, just prick some holes. And what I'll do in a second, I'll bring the camera in a bit closer so you can see how I'm actually doing these. See, all the brassicas are the same. I'm not going to sow any sprouts yet, they can hold fire until April, May. Now obviously, because these Aquils are an F1, you don't get as many seeds, but if 2 drop in I'm not going to be too fussy about it. You know, because I only actually grow usually 8 of each variety in a bed, because in one of my beds I can get 32 of the brassicas in. You know, it's only a 10 foot by 5 foot bed. You know, so you can you roughly get about 15-inch square each, you know, each way. I know sometimes they say you need 18-inch spacings, but if your ground's not too bad, you can get away with it. Right, I'll try and move the camera a bit closer so you can see a bit better. Right, so, okay, so only pricking these holes probably, you know, say I'm getting about 5mm, because like I said I need to fill these up. And these can be the Golden Acre, also known as Primo 2. They're a bit of a summer cabbage. No good solid hearts, not humongous hearts on them. Good for, you know, eating raw. Good for making coleslaws and stuff like that. And they're alright steamed and boiled and whatnot. And then what I used to do sometimes, I used to, it's on one of my earlier videos, I used to cut the head off, the main head, and I'd cut across into the main stalk. I'd leave some leaves on it, and it would grow like mini hearts later on. You know, sometimes you get a cluster of them and they're like gigantic Brussels sprouts. They don't get big. I mean, sometimes you might get 2 or 3 orange sized hearts. That's the Golden Acre done. Labelling there, ready. One more of the brassicas, just give that a little tamp down to one side. And these are Cauliflower Clapton, which is my second year growing these. I used to grow them called Avalanche, which I used to find were great. Really big cauliflower heads on them. Really good at self-blanching themselves, you know. Used to really wrap the heads up themselves. None of this having to go and string them up and all that palaver. You know, you can get that all the year round, can do okay. It's never been a favourite of mine. But, you know, cauliflower's not my favourite of vegetables to eat, to be honest. So I won't be so much as trying to grow lots of crops of these. The bonus is we're sowing excess seedlings. I've got family and friends that also grow a bit of their own stuff, so very rarely any of my stuff goes to waste. Ah, that's the cauliflower done. Down there, back the camera out again, and then a little tiny sieve, a tray with some of the same compost here, and just give them, you know, make sure I can't see any of the seeds, put it that way. getting half of it all over the floor as well, as you do. And then just wipe off any of the excess. And then give each one a bit of a watering. Like I said, the compost underneath has been pre-watered. I probably won't even water them again until it comes down to pricking out. So I have a bigger tray here. I can sort of usually fit them all in, just about. And then same again, just going to have a lid on that, like so, with a little plenty top on it. That's all the brassicas done. Right, so what have we got next? Clear a bit of this mess over there. Let's get these seeds out of the way. Don't need any more of the brassicas, they're all done. We'll go for leeks. I'm just doing that in a pot rather than trays and, you know, small cell things. I'll zoom the camera in a bit more again. So it's been watered. I'm going to give it a bit more. It is a deep pot at the end of the day. Like that. That'll settle a minute while I'm doing seeds. Now these are fairly old seeds, and I think they're still in date though. A lot of my leeks went to seed last year. Just got hit with the cold weather and that. So the variety is Musselburgh. I don't think I've actually done a label for these. I might have done. Let's have a look. Yep, I have. How's that for organised? It's basically a cluster of seeds like that. I'm just going to and I can thin them out and whatnot. There's absolutely way too many seeds in there. And a bit of compost again. As long as they're covered with a 5 to 10 ml of compost, you're not going to go too far wrong really. And then another quick water, just to settle them down. Label in. And all I'm going to do with this, because I haven't got a lid for this at the moment, the whole bag here, just to stop it drying out. Got little tiny holes in the bag, that's fine. Let a bit of light through as well, and that's the leeks done. Get some newspaper and then start with a fresh top. Right, I'll back the camera back out a bit. Now I'm going to do spring onions. There's 40 cell or 40 modules in this tray. Pre-watered multi-purpose compost. I'm going to get my dipper, in this case going to be my finger, and just make a little depression in the middle of each one. Not too small, you know, a fairly wideish depression. You know, 'cause sometimes with the alliums, if you plant them too shallow, the minute they start growing, they'll topple over. But you know, once they've got roots down, they can really hold themselves upright. So you don't have to be too concerned about them. So when I used to like plant onions out, I used to just make a trench and lay them sort of on an angle into it and fill them in. These just to stand themselves up. So it's probably getting on for, you know, near a 10mm deep probably. The spring onions I've got this year, same as most years, it's usually white Lisbon and or this Ishikura. You can get a free label with it. But, I've already made one out, so never mind. I sold these in pots, like I've just done the Leeks, and let them grow like that. Obviously a little bit thinner. You know, like you would do chives and things like that, you could do the same. And these I'm just basically going to get into the full pack into my hand. And I might not use them all, just generally get a little cluster of, you know, well, whatever really. You might get 5 or 6 drop out. Okay, these are quite a thin spring onion. You know, whereas white Lisbon, you know, they could get quite fairly big. You know, white Lisbon are nice though. I mean, these are nice. Well, I'll probably say I'm averaging something like 6 or 8 per plug here. You know, and these will hopefully go out in 5 or 6 weeks. Obviously once they're in the ground they'll push themselves apart a little bit. You know, because I'll plant these clumps probably about 4 inches apart. You know, in rows maybe 8 to 12 inches apart. I mean, it's alright to sow these things direct, but sometimes it's hard to tell what's onion and what's little blades of grass that are trying to grow. And when you're trying to weed, you might pull some out. So I've not even used a full pack in there. You know, come end of June, July and that, I can set some more off. I'll put them back in the packet. Give these a bit of a covering. Just do that down and put the water in. The onion seeds are quite a hard seed, so they can take a little bit of water. Obviously they don't want to be sat in it. So the idea is like, you've got John Innes compost, people rave on about it. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it because it's so fine. And I think seedlings can struggle to come through it sometimes. In my personal opinion, you know, it is good obviously because it's been around for a long time. So lid on, I haven't got a vent thing in this, but never mind, it's not a really good fit anyway. Right, so next up we shall do beetroot and some shallots. I'm going to show another tray of shallots, but I'll just show you half this as shallots. Before I forget, put my label in for my spring onions. Right, so I've got here beetroot and Sevron shallots. So put a label there, that label there, then I know at least that half is shallots, this half is beetroot. So use my little dibber and just make little holes, similar to like what I did with the brassicas. I tend to, like with the beetroot, I'll make it a little bit deeper. But you know, with beetroot, a lot of the time I'm tempted to just use my finger. It's quite a big seed, so sometimes you might drop a couple in. I know these beetroot seeds are old and are they out of date? Yeah, they should have been sown and thrown away last year, but we shall see. I've got 20 here in this tray, there'll be 20 beetroots, so I've probably dropped 2. Per module or station. Yeah, I'd probably say this, you know, the seedling, or the sowing in the pricking out stages, probably my favourite part of growing stuff, to be honest, because when things are a lot more fragile and vulnerable and you give it a little bit of help, and then if you get it right, things will go okay. I'll just use my fingers just to make sure they're just pressed into the compost. That way I know I've not got seeds on top of them, they're more like side by side, and they're about 10mm down. Right, there's a rung shallots. Right, so I'm going to try aim for 1 per station. That's the plan. It's a bit easier to sow brassica seeds because they're nice and round, where the alliums are quite an irregular shape, so they don't roll around on your finger and thumb quite the same. I've tried them seed dispensing tools, but they're okay if you've got a nice seed that seals, you know, for the suction tools anyway. Your best ones are the ones probably that you can tap along, but if you're going to do the tapping along, you might as well just fold a piece of card and just coax your seeds out that way. Right, so there we go. Bit of compost. Bit of burying. Take off your excess. And a bit of water. Now I should imagine the beetroot will be first up if it's going to germinate. Beetroot is pretty hardy. It comes up pretty quick. So that's that done. And the lid doesn't really fit very well, but it's better than nothing. that over there. So that's the, I'll do the other tray shots later on. Now I've got my onions. I have got some onion sets, I think we should store on, I think. But I'm also going to do some of the Santero. I did them last year and I'm still using them now. I'll just go and get some. So these are Santeros that I harvested last June, July, and they're still plenty usable. So I've got about 15 or 20 left still. The stir on have just about gone over now, I think. And I've still got a bit of garlic left. I've used some of my own garlic to sell me new stuff, which is currently in the polytunnel, trying its best to grow. Right, so they're an F1, and off what I've seen last year, they are very resistant to mildew. So if you get mildew on your onions and you grow these will be about the only onions in the whole patch that will not have any mildew. For that reason, my plot tends to get a bit prone for that. So, and they store well, which is the main reason why I thought I'd try them out, because they're known for being good storers. So I thought, you've got to give them a go. Yeah, I've got some Kelsey, big onions growing in the attic from my own seed. What they turn out like, I don't know. They've been a bit hit and miss, a bit neglected, you know, with the current circumstances. But I potted them on the other night and they're alive and they're growing. They're nowhere near as big as I've had them before this time of year. Not doing as many either. These have got some sort of coating on the seeds. So they're a white colour. So I'm trying to aim for just one. Oh, 2 dropped in there, not to worry. Another 2 in there. So yeah, there's the odd one where 2's dropped in, but it's no big deal, it's fine. Most of the seeds back in the pack, a few on the floor. Make sure the seeds are down in the holes properly. One there looks like it's got caught up a bit high. And then same again. Seems like it's not quite compacted down much, this one, so I'm just going to give it a very light tap down. A bit of water. Label. Lid. So that's 40 of them. So probably sold some more of them as well. Right, so what have we got left now? We'll do lettuce. All lettuce is sold pretty much the same, to be honest. But I'm going to prick them out. A lot of the time I'll just grow them in the 40 cell or the 24 cell trays. So, but how I'm going to do mine, I've got 4 varieties I'm growing. I've got Cure, which is an upright Romaine type. Then I've got Seeds of Italy, or Frankie's, whatever they are. Romaine lettuce, they're pretty tough. Mesure, which sometimes have problems germinating, but is a great one for just keep cut and come again. And like a purpley mottled greeny one called Grenoble, which is another good one. So while I do this, I'm just going to put a label there, so I know this first half will be Grenoble, second half will be Mesure, and what I'll do actually, I'll make one Grenoble, one Romaine, because they will look very different. Like that. Put them on an angle for now so I can see what I'm doing. Now with lettuce I usually like to really dampen the base up. You know, because your seeds won't get too wet if they're watered from beneath. You know, and it's left to drain for a second while you sort your seeds out. Right, so we've got Romaine, Mesure and Cure. Right, so Mesure's at the back. I'll turn it that way around, so Mesure's going to go here. I'll bring the camera in a bit closer so you can see, but Mesure's going to go at the back here, and then the Cure is going to go here. It's just basically, I'm going to just scatter them. Yeah, you don't need too many lettuce because they can all come ready at once. So you better have to do them successionally, really. But like I said, Mesure last year for me they were really good. I was slow to bolt and everything, and I was cropping them. I had 10 plants, and 10 plants was more than what I needed. So I'm going to reduce that by half this year. I'm actually going to just have 5 of the Mesure. And the Cure, which is a Romaine sort of upright type, mainly for my tortoise. It can be quite costly when you've got a tortoise that will quite happily eat 1 to 2 lettuce a day, plus a full cabbage and courgette and things like that. So yeah, they can eat plenty. And then cover them over, do that out of the way. Now I'm not necessarily going to water the tops, you know, because it's quite wet underneath. So I'm just going to pat that down like that. It should have good seed contact. And then do the same with this one. We've got Grenoble. Grenoble kind of looks a bit like that. It's a nice sort of nutty-ish taste. It does have a few problems with certain bugs. Spider-Man things can like it. Slugs do as well. Like way too many seeds there. You know, you extra about a few quid. There's thousands of seeds in that. You could sow an acre with that. And these are the just like just a standard romaine. A little bit more a tighter heart than the Cure. I think it's Cure anyway. It's spelled C-U-O-R-E. They're the other ones. I mean, I did a few different ones last year. Freckles, Sweet Success. They were all okay, really. Not planned on any iceberg yet, because it's only if you really me and my mum that eat the iceberg. My dad's not a big veggie man, so I'm going to be overfaced with a lot of it this year. But I do grow a lot of things to store for the winter months as well. And then these will just sit in this tray, and I'll put a little propagator lid over it when I find it, and that's the lettuce. Yep, another long video. A lot of you requested a long video, so I thought, well, instead of doing loads of little videos on seeds, I thought, well, I'd probably say this is probably about 80% of my seeding done for this season. You know, so it doesn't take long to do. I've still got like my other spring onions, not all spring onions, my other shallots to do. But you know, it's only a case of minutes. The worst bit is tidying up. It'd be better to do it outside, but it's dark and the weather's not so great. So if there's any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try and answer. I've been, it's been a bit busy in that, so I do read the comments and I will get around to answering as many as I possibly can. Or in another video, if there's any questions, I'll try and answer them that way. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.